What?
Hi, my name is Barbara Chumbler. I'm a previous employee of Emory University Hospital.
I can't hear.
Richard Cannon was a patient of ours, gosh, 20 some odd years ago. He was an older man. He was in his 80s, but he was very viable. He was a school crossing guard. He'd been a fireman. He was in his right mind, very mentally competent, volunteered at his church. He was doing fine. Anyway, I think he took a fall and had to go to the emergency room, and they admitted him. John went home to take care of the pets, and while he was gone, they were taking his father, I think, for an MRI, and they dropped him. And then it kind of started a cover-up. I worked in the risk management department, and this was not my case. We had a brand new risk manager named Susan Bean, and this was her first case. And I didn't know anything about it until I happened to see John in the hospital because we were old friends from working together at Georgia Baptist years ago. I'm sorry. But anyway, they kind of started a cover-up. I didn't know about it at the time. He ended up requiring surgery, and Susan Bean told me that this old man had an abnormal spine, and that's why his surgery was required, and they just kind of made something up. And it wasn't my case, so I didn't know details about it. But I did know that they were real irritated with John. They didn't want him asking questions. It was like a cover-up. It was like a cover-up. They didn't want him to know. I think they even had 2 sets of medical records. But anyway, he subsequently died starting from that fall, from that drop. That's what ultimately made him die. So it was a death caused by Emory, and I think they probably didn't want the bad publicity. But they never would admit anything. And several doctors were involved, and they talked about him all the time. They talked about John all the time. They were real concerned because John was asking too many questions. And it ultimately drove John completely crazy. And they loved to make him look crazy so that he wouldn't be credible. But he is credible. Everything he's saying is true. I was there. I know what happened.
He's got the documents.
And John had got a set of medical records from another company that actually showed stuff they didn't have in our other medical records. But Mr. Cannon passed away due to Emory. It was their fault from dropping him the first time. And I'm willing to do a deposition. I'm willing to swear to that. So, and also, they might not think that I'm a good witness because I was fired from Emory. We got new management, they rearranged the department, and the guy had the department wanted to get rid of me, and he made up some bogus thing, and I ended up winning the case. They fired me without cause, and I ended up getting unemployment and offered a job again that I've refused to take.
And then she called you on the phone.
And then a couple of years later, Susan Lamicus, who was also a risk manager, called me at home and asked me, said that somebody had gotten a letter from John, and they wondered if I would call him and kind of feel him out and see what he was up to. And I said no, I would not, because I didn't want to be involved in anything. So, but I will help John any way I can to prove this, because Emory murdered his father. I'll be willing to do anything I need to help him.